The previous second, he even wanted me, his first love, to stay overnight. But the next second, he suddenly started shouting and told me to get out of her house. Just because it was originally two people going to watch a movie together. But my pocket unexpectedly had 4 extra movie tickets. However, facing this situation, I let out a cold laugh. Everything was within my expectations. It was just now. After coming to Anna's house, I couldn't wait to clean myself up. But when I returned to the hall, the scene before me made my pupils dilate. The 4 movie tickets that were originally in my pocket are now quietly lying on the coffee table. Before I could explain, Anna, with a stern look on her face, said, "Charles, what's the deal with the 4 movie tickets in your pocket? Did you go watch a movie with other girls? If you don't like me, then why did you barge into my life and go on dates with other girls? Have you ever considered my feelings?" Upon hearing this, I whispered, "Let me explain. It's not what you think." Before I could finish my sentence, Anna angrily pointed and scolded, "Charles, get out of my house now. I never want to see you again." While speaking, her affinity towards me dropped drastically from the original 95 points to 75 points. Faced with this situation, I was excited and trembling all over. Just because of all this, I had anticipated it long ago. Now it's time to bring out the big guns. Then I expressed my disappointment. "Anna, is it true that I am so untrustworthy in your heart? Is it just a few movie tickets that make all my efforts for you go to waste?" Listening to me still making excuses, did you not go on a movie date with other girls? Or did you go with a guy instead? Upon hearing that, I smirked. You actually guessed it right. So I immediately called my good buddy Walter. By the way, I also switched on the speakerphone. Then I handed the phone to Anna. "You can ask Walter yourself whether I went to the movies with him today." The call was connected, and Walter's voice came through from the other end. "Charles, what are you up to? Why are you calling me at 2:30 in the morning?" At this point, Anna snatched the phone. "I'm Anna. I just want to ask you if Charles went to the movies with you today." Upon hearing this, Walter responded without hesitation. "We went together. Originally, I planned to invite Kimberly to go together, but she rejected me. So, I had to drag Charles to go with me." Walter, who was originally still half asleep, instantly woke up. "Isn't this Charles's phone? It's so late now." Soon, a furious roar from Walter came from the other end of the phone. "Charles, are you still human? How could you be with Anna? I refuse to believe it even if I die." After hanging up the phone, Anna had a look of uncertainty. Could it be that I misunderstood Charles? No, what if he had agreed to this with Walter in advance? Anna immediately called Kimberly to verify the situation. What she didn't expect was that what Kimberly said was exactly the same as Walter's. She even complained that she shouldn't have turned down Walter's invitation for a date. After learning how things unfolded, Anna was about to speak up to express her apologies. But I directly interrupted her. Should I check my phone's payment information again or not? I then turned around and said, "I am really disappointed in you today." Seeing this, Anna immediately greeted me with joy. "Charles, I'm sorry. Please don't leave. I shouldn't have misunderstood you so casually." But in response, there was only a heavy sound of the door closing. After closing the door, I immediately wiped the sweat off my forehead. Fortunately, I was prepared in advance. Otherwise, things would have gone awry this time. The man is clearly trying to ride 7 boats at once. But his first love girlfriend was not angry at all. On the contrary, she was very considerate of the man's busy schedule. It turned out that it just happened recently, with the help of a good friend. I successfully dispelled Anna's suspicion of me. But just when she asked me to stay overnight. But I turned around and left directly because you doubted me over a few movie tickets. Anna, you really disappointed me. I then received an apology message from Anna. Last night, I misunderstood you. When two people are together, they should trust each other. Upon realizing this, I quickly replied, "It was also my fault for not explaining it to you in advance. I should also apologize to you." Anna was touched. Even though it was my fault, he took the initiative to apologize to me. Charles is really gentle. Anna's affinity towards me has also increased sharply. I breathed a sigh of relief upon sensing all of this. It has finally increased back, and even a little more than before. Fortunately, I was prepared this time. Otherwise, I would have almost played myself to death. And this incident also served as a wake-up call for me. Currently, the system has assigned me 7 simp objects, but I need to differentiate them. Some people only need to be used as my tools, and the remaining few need to be well maintained in relationships. I must make sure their affinity with me is built solidly. After all, who doesn't have a harem dream? Only kids make choices. I want them all. Just as I was lost in wild thoughts, I heard the discussion of 2 female classmates behind me. They said Timothy sponsored the school team and organized a Strongest Roadside King competition. Let's go check it out. There are a lot of handsome guys on the basketball team. Upon hearing this, I was stunned. What is Timothy up to this time? Just thinking that I was idle anyway, I started walking towards the gym. At this moment, the gym was already packed with people. 2 teams were engaged in a fierce competition, and a group of fangirls on both sides of the basketball court were cheering loudly. "Go, Timothy! I want to have your baby, Timothy!" I was speechless when I saw this scene. So Timothy was organizing a King of the Court competition just to show off. Just then, Coco and Sandra spotted me squeezed in the crowd. Sandra was about to greet me. Coco, who was by her side, had already disappeared without a trace. The next moment, Coco's figure appeared beside me. "Charles, you are here too. What a coincidence." Sandra, who saw this scene, was extremely annoyed. She was actually beaten to it by that green tea girl. And I had just thought to speak up when my shoulder was lightly tapped by someone. Hannah looked at me with a beaming smile and said, "Hey, Charles, do you also like playing basketball?" Upon seeing this, I felt overwhelmed. A basketball game that gathered 3 simp personalities. What a hassle. And several male classmates watching the scene had indie written all over their faces. It said that Hannah, in pursuit of Charles, directly dumped her ex-boyfriend. Just as the 2 were discussing, Betty suddenly appeared behind them with Cynthia. "Talking behind girls' backs like this disgusts me," she said. The entire gym is filled with a foul smell. Cynthia, who was standing nearby, looked embarrassed and said, Okay. Also at this moment, Timothy in the middle of the court noticed my presence. How on earth did that damn rat Charles also show up here? Are these 3 girls blind or something? Why are they circling around Charles like that? Can't they see there's a top-tier handsome guy here? But when Cynthia appeared, Timothy suddenly had a plan in mind. And since Cynthia is also here, this is just the opportunity one need to redeem myself. With my 2.5 years of practice in basketball skills, Charles, who is inexperienced, definitely cannot beat me. At the thought of this, Timothy immediately threw the basketball in his hand towards me. Fortunately, I swiftly caught the ball in my hand. Otherwise, I would have definitely been hit on the head. Then I said with a stern face, "Timothy, what do you mean by this? Just because you lost in the piano competition, you decided to retaliate against me with a sneak attack. Isn't this too childish?" Upon hearing this, Timothy let out a cold laugh. "You are not worthy. Dare to challenge me to a one-on-one duel? I'll give you a 10-point advantage." The basketball team captain, who has been diligently practicing basketball skills for 2.5 years, but ended up making a fool of himself in front of a newcomer. Not only was he immediately blown away by the opponent's pass, he also effortlessly blocked his proud slam dunk. It just happened a moment ago. School hunk Timothy challenged me to a one-on-one basketball game to show off in front of his classmates. Upon hearing that, I was excited and my veins bulged. You like to play, huh? Then I'll play with you. I immediately threw the basketball in my hand towards Timothy. I officially accepted his challenge. Seeing this, Timothy sneered. A mere amateur dares to accept the challenge. He really doesn't know any better. But the next scene left the teammates present in shock. Timothy was unexpectedly hit by my pass, and was literally knocked 2.5 meters away. Cynthia, who witnessed this scene, had a look of surprise on her face. Timothy, as the captain of the basketball team, surprisingly failed to catch Charles's pass. On the other hand, Betty on the side had a look of disdain. Just a brute with brute strength and nothing more. And at this moment, Timothy, who was lying on the ground, had an incredulous expression on his face. How could there be such a strong force? Charles seems as weak as a straw. I never expected him to have such great strength. At this time, I walked up to Timothy and sarcastically said, "You can't even catch the ball, yet you dare to challenge me one-on-one. How about a 5v5 instead? It just so happens that I can test the skill level of the school team." Everyone on the scene was shocked. Nobody believed it. How could an amateur like me lead a team to victory against a well-trained school team? And Timothy even doubted if he had misheard. You see, all the players on the field, including the referee, are his people. This is not a 5v5 match at all. It's clearly a 1-against-9. Timothy revealed a fierce smile on his face. "Charles, now you are definitely going to lose." With the referee's signal, the 5v5 match officially begins. Timothy takes the lead with a breakthrough. Just a basketball rookie. Watch how I dominate you. I will ruthlessly crush you under my feet. Let Cynthia know who her true love is. On the other hand, I am surrounded by 3 teammates in a triangular formation. It's impossible to escape. At this sight, a trace of a cold smile appears on my lips. I naturally know that all the players present are his undercover actors. I need a teammate. I am enough to be an army of thousands alone. Although my basketball skills are not that great. But I have cheats. Then I directly ask the system to increase my basketball skill proficiency by 30 years. Meanwhile, Timothy is listening to the various cheers for him in the arena, looking smug. The situation is just right for showing off some basketball skills. Let me end it all with a handsome dunk. Then Timothy took a big leap forward and took off from the ground, ready to make a handsome dunk. But the next moment, he suddenly froze. A big hand appeared right in front of him. I then immediately swatted the basketball out of his hand. The onlookers were petrified at the sight. Timothy, who is a basketball expert, was actually blocked by Charles. It's simply unbelievable. The 3 teammates surrounding me also looked puzzled. It's really strange. Charles was just here a moment ago. Timothy also stared at the scene in disbelief. Impossible. This must be an illusion. No one can outsmart me in this school. At this moment, holding the ball, I playfully approached Timothy. It's finally my turn. Senior, you better be ready. Before I could finish speaking, the referee behind me blew the whistle and showed me a yellow card. Seeing this, my face immediately darkened. Timothy, do you have any shame left? How could you even let the referee blow the black whistle? It was clearly a fixed match where one person played against 9. But the man managed to turn the game around all by himself. The crowd was moved to tears by the scene. This is the true spirit of sports. The campus heartthrob's prideful slam dunk was easily blocked by me. But just at that moment, the referee unexpectedly blew the whistle with a yellow card in hand. As the penalty kick hit the center of the blue frame, the school team led by the campus heartthrob took the lead with 1 point. He then smirked darkly and said, "Even if you are good at basketball, what can you do? Even the referee is on my side. If I want to blow the whistle on you, I will. Charles, you are still too naive." The spectators outside started discussing this scene after seeing it. Clearly, there was no foul. Could it be that they are blowing the whistle unfairly? It's just a friendly match. Acting so shamelessly really dishonors us, doesn't it? And Timothy's despicable behavior has completely ignited my anger. I can tolerate cheating, but I will never allow you to insult the spirit of sports. In the next 2.5 minutes, I will definitely thoroughly beat you, you scum. As the referee blew the whistle again, I dribbled directly through Timothy's defense. Timothy looked shocked at the scene. What speed is this, after all? Before he could react, I had already jumped up high with the basketball. Later, under the gaze of everyone, I completed a perfect dunk. As the game continued, I repeatedly broke through with the ball, widening the score gap. Seeing the score gap getting bigger, Timothy immediately shouted at a few teammates. "Quickly surround him! If needed, fouling is also an option." Then he pointed at a few other people and said, "What are you guys waiting for? Find a chance to block him." The few people who received the order blocked me from moving forward. I just chuckled at this. Let's see how I handle you all. I then jumped high in place with both hands holding the ball. Several team members who saw this scene were shocked. What a vertical leap. Just as they were shocked, I made a long-range three-pointer. Watching me score so vigorously, both players from both teams and the referees were all stunned in place. Knowing that this is a game full of backstage deals, does he really need to go this far? At this moment, my silhouette breaking through with the ball has left the referee in contemplation. Why is he so determined? Just to earn everyone's respect? It reminded him of what his father once said. The referee is the bottom line of all games. When that whistle blows, you must have a clear conscience. Other players also recalled what the coach once said. The outcome of a game is not about the score, but about your love for basketball. It's about whether you've given your all for the game. Charles knew that this was a game full of scandals. However, he did not hesitate at all. This is true love for basketball. The referees and players on both sides shed tears. Compared to the man in front of them, they look so ugly and despicable. It's like they are blaspheming the sport of basketball. And seeing this scene, I was confused. How could I just stand there still? The classmates watching the game around me exclaimed in astonishment. Is the basketball team out of their minds? I saw the players from both sides, who were originally standing in front of me, suddenly stepping aside, leaving me to face Timothy one-on-one. Seeing this situation, I was full of question marks. Is this a new tactic? And Cynthia, who was watching the battle, pointed out the reason behind it. Charles used his skill to win people's respect, which made everyone admire him. This is the true spirit of sports. But Timothy, who witnessed the scene, was dumbfounded. "What are you all doing?" he said. "Don't you want to make money anymore?" The man was ambushed during a basketball game. But in the end, it was not himself who got injured. Instead, it was the campus hunk who launched the ambush that ended up with a broken hand. It turned out to be just earlier, under my spirit of winning people over with virtue in sports. All the players and referees were deeply impressed by me. And without the referees' biased calls and the obstruction from both sides' players, I quickly widened the score to 60-2. Then I said coldly, "You have insulted the sport of basketball. Any humiliation that follows is on you." After saying that, I dribbled the ball at a very fast speed towards Timothy. Upon hearing this, Timothy's face turned gloomy. Currently, there are only 2.5 seconds left until the end of the game. As long as he can successfully defend against this last shot, he won't be completely embarrassed. Timothy immediately exerted all his strength to block my shot. Just as I was about to forcefully break through for a dunk, Timothy underneath laughed mockingly. "Charles, this is all your fault. Just go lie in the hospital bed properly." He then delivered a sneaky elbow strike right on my waist. A crisp sound of a bone breaking rang out from his right hand. Timothy then fell to the ground in pain. Is Charles made of iron? I ended the game with a thunderous dunk amidst Timothy's cries. The crowd witnessed this scene and erupted in thunderous applause. And Cynthia's affinity towards me also soared to 96 points at this moment. Not only that, observing the battle, Sandra and Coco's affinity towards me also simultaneously soared to 97. What surprised me even more is that even Hannah, whom I've only met a few times, instantly increased her affinity towards me to 95. She has become my simp. And as the competition ended, I watched Timothy kneeling on the ground in unbearable pain, with a cold expression on my face. Timothy, you are not worthy of being the captain of the school basketball team, neither in ability nor in character. You do not deserve to insult the sport of basketball. It is an insult to my skills to compete with garbage like you. Upon hearing this, Timothy angrily retorted, Charles, don't be too arrogant. I will have the upper hand over you sooner or later. The girls in the crowd had already exploded with excitement. Charles's dunk was so cool, exclaimed Hannah, who was looking around with a bottle of water in hand. Just at that moment, Cynthia, holding a bottle of water, was also searching around for my figure, just like Hannah. Soon Sandra, who had the same idea, joined them, and Coco met them. This made the situation awkward for a while. On the other hand, I escaped from the gym as soon as the competition ended. Fortunately, I am quick-witted and slippery. Otherwise, just choosing whose water to drink could potentially lead to a major accident. And then I returned to the dormitory. I took a nice hot shower for myself as soon as possible. As I continue to conquer various campus beauties, the attribute points rewarded by the system make my body shape become more perfect. My phone suddenly received a group friend request from someone named Rogue. I accepted the friend request with a puzzled expression on my face. The person came straight to the point and said, "Do you want a wife?" I was dumbfounded on the spot when I heard that. Although I have bought cars and houses in the group before, I have never bought a wife. Just because it was exposed that she is a third party. Female celebrities face a penalty of 30 million yuan. She thought her life had come to an end just like that. But her younger brother found her a super wealthy husband. It turns out that Deborah is a star from the domestic entertainment industry, the head of the 4 leading actresses. She won the Best Actress award at the young age of 22. Originally, her future was very promising. However, it was exposed that she was a third party involved in ruining someone's family. As a result, Deborah got caught up in various scandals. Her online reputation also took a nosedive. Eventually, she had to face a penalty of 30 million yuan for breach of contract. Although Deborah is the daughter of the Gao Group, in recent years, the group's development has been unfavorable. The 30 million liquidity is enough to seriously impact the current state of the Gao Group. Rogue, as the second son of the Gao Group and also Deborah's younger brother, specifically invited me out in the hopes of helping them resolve this family crisis. After understanding the cause and process of the incident, I just took a sip of cold boiled water lightly. So you asked me if I wanted a wife. It means to have me marry your sister. And then I have to give a dowry of 30 million. To become the son-in-law of your family. Upon hearing that, Rogue immediately became nervous. Smokey, please don't get me wrong. I was just afraid that you would ignore me, that's why I said that. He said angrily, and slammed the table. It's obvious that my sister was framed. The current public opinion is very unfavorable to her. And she also has to pay a large amount of liquidated damages. Rogue then scratched his cheek embarrassedly. Actually, I want to ask you to buy my sister's villa. Upon hearing this, I pondered for a moment. With the help of the simp system, I do indeed need to have my own house now. And Deborah is a popular female celebrity. As long as I can bind her as my simp object. Once the mission is successful, I will count money until my feet go soft. I slowly put down the bottle of cold white liquor in my hand. Then I looked seriously at Rogue and said, I've made up my mind about becoming your brother-in-law. Can you spare some time to let me meet your sister? Upon hearing this, Rogue immediately took out her phone with a happy expression. Smokey is indeed as chivalrous as the rumors say. I'll arrange a time for you right away. At this moment, when Rogue looked at me again, it was as if I was emanating a bright aura of injustice. I heard that Smokey recently invested a large sum of money in Shao Group. If I were to let my sister be his wife, it doesn't seem impossible. At the same time, in a group of villas, Deborah angrily said on the phone, "Tell that person to back off. I know he's capable, but just because he spread these rumors doesn't mean I'll budge." Having said that, Deborah hung up the phone directly. Then she gave the pillow a punch in anger. Damn man. He wanted to get me through such dirty tricks. But the thought of having to pay over $30 million in liquidated damages made Deborah collapse on the bed. Just wanted to be a simple actor. Is it really that difficult? Her phone rang again. Deborah answered the phone just as she was about to speak, and Rogue's excited voice came from the other end. "You don't need to worry about money anymore. I have found a super rich guy for you to marry." Deborah hearing this again. The pillow beside me gave a chill through my heart. "What do you mean, you stinky brother? You actually plan to sell me to those stinky men?" "Sis, don't put it so harshly. I found the legendary Smokey to back you up. He promised to buy your house. Perhaps he can help you deal with those rumors as well." Upon hearing this, Deborah furrowed her brow. She had indeed heard frequently about this Smokey, who often trended on social media. But after listening to her younger brother's description, what came to her mind was instead a middle-aged, greasy uncle with a cigarette in his mouth. Here he comes. Smokey's 8th conquest has finally arrived. The first thing I did after meeting her was to make her my underground lover. I thought she would directly refuse. I didn't expect her to ask me to give her a set worth $1 billion sweep. Upon hearing this, my eyes lit up. One set is not enough, right? How about giving one set to your parents and brother each? Otherwise, I won't feel secure about this underground relationship. It turns out it was just now. Rogue wanted to help his sister solve the $30 million breach of contract compensation issue. He found a super wealthy backer for her. But when Deborah found out about this, she scolded him harshly. "This stinky man trying to take advantage of me. Rogue, how dare you help an outsider to deceive me? Wait until you get home. I'll make sure you regret it." Upon hearing this, Rogue hurriedly explained, "Sister, please believe me this time. Smokey is really amazing. He should be arriving soon. Why don't you show him around the house first?" Without waiting for him to finish talking, Deborah hung up the phone directly. Then she started pounding her chest and stomping her feet on the bed. There isn't a good man among them, not even her own brother. Even if I, Deborah, starve to death, jump from upstairs and die at home, I will never ask for a penny from a man. At the same time, outside the house, I looked in surprise at the villa in front of me. I never expected that the home of the famous star Deborah would be so close to the villa I bought for Cynthia. Then I walked towards the gate and rang the doorbell. Deborah, who heard the bell, frowned. "Already here so quickly? Did he never see a woman in his past life?" After all, in her opinion, the so-called rich and powerful people were just middle-aged and greasy old lechers. Listening to the continuous doorbell ringing, Deborah put on her coat and walked towards the front door. Then she impatiently opened the door, with an annoyed expression on her face. "You're already older. Why are you so impatient? You're going to break my doorbell with all your ringing." But the next second, she quickly closed her mouth. A blush appeared on her cheeks. The man in front of her was not the greasy middle-aged man she had in mind. Instead, he was a handsome and elegant young talent. "Are you Miss Deborah? I am a friend of Rogue." I walked into the villa. Deborah, however, stuttered and couldn't say a word. "This guy is actually Smokey. He's so young and handsome. I've been shooting for so long and never seen anyone like him. Which male actor can have such presence?" Deborah stood still, looking bewildered. I calmly said, Miss, you don't have to be too constrained. Just treat this place as your own home. Upon hearing this, Deborah awkwardly smiled. Are you going to continue looking at the house? I solemnly replied, I did not come here for the house. Would the young lady be willing to be my underground lover? As soon as I finished speaking, the system immediately sent a prompt. Conquer Deborah to receive a reward of 30 attribute points and mastery in the skill of performance. Seeing this, I smirked. Let's get straight to the point. How will you handle this, my friend? Upon hearing my words, Deborah was also stunned. She did not expect me to be so direct. Then her face immediately turned cold. You want me to be your secret lover with a little money? You're so arrogant. Let me show you how I can embarrass you. Thinking this, Deborah raised her chin slightly and said, You are quite straightforward. Being your secret lover is not impossible, but I have a few conditions. First, you need to buy me a top luxury car worth over 10 million. Second, you need to give me a suite worth 1 billion. If you find the conditions too harsh. Before she could finish her sentence, I was already beaming with excitement. Is this all you're asking for? How about getting a set for your parents and younger brother too? Otherwise, I won't feel secure about this underground relationship. Upon hearing that, Deborah was dumbfounded on the spot. He is clearly a top celebrity that I just met. But I immediately asked her to be my secret lover. The woman just smiled. I won't agree without 30 million yuan. She thought this would make me back off. I transferred 100 million spending money to her directly. In the wealthy neighborhood at this moment, Rogue arrived at his sister's villa with an excited expression on his face. And seeing the Ferrari parked at the entrance, he was even more excited. Isn't this Smokey's car? Could it be that he hasn't left yet? He immediately rushed into the villa, only to see his sister sitting alone on the sofa in a daze. Why are you the only one here? His car is still outside the gate. At the words, Deborah replied listlessly, You mean that Ferrari? He gave it to me. Rogue then said, That car is worth over 20 million. Why didn't Smokey give it to me? At this moment, Deborah continued her wild talk and said, Not only did Smokey give me the car, but he also gave me some money. Rogue smiled at the words. Smokey is indeed impressive. Is it the down payment for a house? Is it 1 million or 2 million? Upon seeing the deposit message on his sister's phone, Rogue was immediately stunned. This unknown _0 turned out to be a whole 1 billion. He had never seen so much money in his life. The house hasn't even been purchased yet, and Smokey has already given away 120 million. Could it be that Smokey has really set his sights on the older sister? Rogue immediately started to celebrate by throwing confetti. Ha ha ha. Deborah, upon seeing this, was speechless. This little brother is really unbearable. Then she remembered my serious expression when I asked her to be my secret lover. The Ferrari has been transferred to your name. You could also use the 100 million spending money. If it's not enough, you can come find me. I can't stand seeing beautiful women suffer the most. If things go as usual, Deborah will definitely fly into a rage and kick me out. After all, she is not a woman who can be easily conquered with money. But now, she not only didn't get angry, but also directly accepted my conditions. And as Deborah thought about it, a hint of blush appeared on her face. This guy was so straightforward in giving money, and never made any inappropriate requests to me. Instead, he was quite gentlemanly. In this light, it seems like he's not a bad person after all. After Deborah's wild thoughts, her affinity with me instantly rose by 20 points. Meanwhile, on the campus, a group of seniors are busy taking graduation photos. And Betty kept advising Cynthia on the side. Charles is really not a good person. You should stay away from him as soon as possible. After graduation today, I won't be able to protect you anymore. Cynthia smiled and waved her hand. Charles is really not as you think. Upon hearing this, Betty frowned slightly. You also saw that basketball game. So many girls were giving him water. This is enough to prove that he is unreliable and doesn't uphold male virtue. Who would have thought that Cynthia blushed slightly after hearing this? Senior sister, of course I saw it. But Charles didn't take water from anyone and just left. I think there is no problem. Upon hearing this, Betty crossed her arms and continued. So how do you explain the next thing? On your birthday after the party, Charles orchestrated a heroic act to save me, only to try to impress me. Do you still think he is innocent? Cynthia immediately started looking through her phone album after hearing that. I think you're obsessed with men now. I'm starting to worry about your mental state, she said. She then handed a photo to Betty as she spoke. Charles is great in every way. Not to mention, his sense of justice is off the charts. This is not the first time he has acted bravely for a just cause. That day, he had no idea you were coming at all. It was impossible for him to stage it by himself. Looking at the photos on the phone, Betty suddenly widened her eyes. Did I really misunderstand Charles? Is all this because I demonize men too much? Betty ran off into the distance without looking back at Cynthia. It's really embarrassing. It turns out that all of this was just my own imagination. Charles was simply being chivalrous as usual. I mistakenly thought he was interested in me. The aloof senior sister who used to hate all men to the core. But now, she can't eat or sleep at night because of a man. At this moment in a listed company, everyone is working methodically. Only Betty is lost in her thoughts. I'm so embarrassed. How could I have said to Cynthia that Charles is trying to hit on me? Even though it's been so many days, Betty still can't forget the embarrassment from that moment. Whenever she thinks of this matter, my image would inexplicably come to her mind the scene of her confronting a few ruffians for me. Betty's cheeks blushed with embarrassment. I clearly dislike men so much. This feeling is really strange. Just as Betty was lost in her thoughts, the voice of the CEO came from the office. Come in. I have something to tell you. Betty entered the CEO's office. The female CEO said seriously, recently, business celebrities are organizing a charity banquet. As my assistant, you will represent me to attend. And I have another task for you. Betty was taken aback upon hearing this. What task does the CEO need me to complete? It is said that this charity gala will be attended by the legendary mysterious tycoon Smokey. Your task is to socialize with this wealthy individual, paving the way for the company's future business endeavors. Upon hearing this, Betty immediately fell silent. The boss's company could have avoided these situations, but the inevitable still came. After all, this was her first job after graduation. She had no choice but to accept it. So Betty looked helpless, saying she would try her best to complete the task. Little did she know that the CEO issued a military order to her, requiring her to complete it. At the same time, on the school dormitory side, I leisurely listened to Harold sharing gossip with me. Smokey, have you checked the trending topics? Rogue, that kid's sister is going to personally take down the big shots in the entertainment industry. I heard gossip related to Deborah. I immediately got excited. I then went to the desk and opened the computer, only to see the top trending topic boldly stating, Deborah tears apart the big shots in the entertainment industry. The 270 million views are impressive, overshadowing tens of thousands of other hot searches. Deborah took the initiative to speak out on her Weibo. With the situation having escalated to this point, I want to speak up for all the victims who have been harmed by this scum. In the comments section, some people support her actions, while there are also many paid commentators fighting back. You have so much dirt on yourself. Listening to Harold's explanation, I roughly understand the cause and process of the whole incident. It turns out that a big shot in the entertainment industry, seeing the Gal group has not been doing well in recent years, wanted to manipulate Deborah after being rejected, planning to discredit her and blacklist her. What surprised me was that Deborah turned out to be so principled. She was willing to stand up even at the risk of being blacklisted. Harold mentioned another thing at this time. There will be a charity auction recently where various top celebrities will attend. Smokey, you must come to join us then. Upon hearing this, I suddenly became interested. Another place where I can show off by spending money. Even if you didn't mention it, I would still go. However, before attending the charity auction, there is something else I must take care of first. Meanwhile, inside a villa, Deborah said angrily, "The online water army has started to attack. Use fake accounts to push down their negative reviews. I don't believe lies can cover up the truth." The assistant, feeling overwhelmed, said, "Our company account is running low. The other party has spent a lot of money hiring powerful public relations and the water army. Their attack is too strong. We can hardly hold on." Deborah's phone suddenly received a text message. Deborah looked at the incoming message showing $1 billion. She looked surprised. Did that guy see the trending hot battle and worry that I won't have enough money to fight back? But the next second, she seemed smug, just showing off with a little money everywhere. Deborah's affinity towards me suddenly increased by 20 points.